Hello, we are John and Trent, and welcome to JT Sports Talk. We are joined here today with the head coach of Fitch High School's football team, Coach CJ Parker. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Always glad.
How did you first get into coaching football? Tell us a bit about your background.
Obviously growing up like you guys, playing sports, it was a kind of a major part of my life. I always knew, I guess, my whole life that I wanted to be an athlete, and I wanted to explore any avenue that allowed me to be involved with athletics. So growing up, played a bunch of sports, found ones that I liked, and then was able through high school here and playing here, was able to continue my career on to college. And it's funny how I actually ended up in coaching. I wanted to be a physical therapist, again, work with athletes, but the college that I wanted to go to did not have that major. So looked for something in athletics, and then I landed on physical education. And, I think it's understood that most physical education teachers are also coaches in the district. So I realized, all along I had always liked coaching, always liked teaching, and working with people. So that's how I kind of fell into coaching. And then from there, just been doing it ever since.
So with that, why did you want to become the head coach at Fitch High School?
It's just a place that, obviously means so much to me. I think it's a very unique place, unique demographics. I tell everyone, that asks, my friends that are now other places, that I college teammates and roommates, and then people that I've worked with and at Westminster and so forth like that. It's the melting pot. You can get everything you want here. It's a bigger school. If you want to find trouble, trouble's here for you. If you want to find, high level of learning, that's available to you. Whoever you want to be, you can be at this school. And I think it's a place that, is just quirky enough, and it's on that edge of you can have a major impact, but there's not a lot of lost souls. Everyone's searching for themselves and trying to find themselves, and to be able to help guide young men like you guys along those lines, it's pretty special. And there's only certain places where you can get in and have that big of an impact, and Fitch is one of them.
There has to be a lot of pressure that comes with that job. What has this experience been like so far?
Well, you guys, come on. You guys got to take the pressure off me by winning and working hard. But, I'll say this. When I first took over, and I had been a head coach in other areas, other sports before, and with those, I think I put a lot of pressure on myself to win. So the pressure with this job and heading an actual program this size did not come from, the games or the pressure to win. I think I've always put enough of that on myself. But when you run a program this size in a school, with the history of this one and the tradition, there's a lot that goes with it, and you're working with a lot of other people, and the pressures to make sure you guys are succeeding in the classroom, make sure you guys are getting recruited, make sure you guys are walking the straight and narrow, making sure we have the best uniforms, we have the best media output, we have all there is to provide you guys. That's meals, all of that. That's where I think a lot of the pressure to succeed in so many areas tends to amount, and that becomes a lot. And luckily, I have a good staff and a lot of support in this school that helps with that. But I think that is the pressure that I feel now. It's to be successful in so many different areas outside of a coach.
Okay, so coming off of last season, what will your focus be for the team as they prepare for next year?
I think it's one of those things where we were young last year in a lot of areas, especially on defense, and we have a lot of those guys returning. On offense, again, we're losing two very, very good players, and anytime you're losing a quarterback and you have a quarterback change, it's a program change. It's a team change. It looks different when you have a single caller leave, but it's the same thing year to year. It's never being complacent. It's continuing to strive to be better than we were last year. And I think, you two sitting here with me today and your class and the classes behind you and the classes in front of you have learned from the previous classes, which is important. And you've seen what's been successful for them. And then hopefully, you guys have learned from their failures. And that will continue to generate a better team year after year. Again, bring the competition up. And, I'm just looking, I know we always talk about it, and Coach Wedding in the weight room's always talking about it, that 1% better every day. But it's all that. It's just always us against us. And how can we be better? Or how can we get the best out of us? Every team's going to be different. Every year is going to be different. But I think the goal should be to get the best out of our team that we can get. So I'm not trying to better last year or better the year before that. I want to get the best out of this team that I can, and I know that's something special.
Okay. Which team are you most excited about playing?
Oh, wow. I think we have our rivals in there still, even though we lost Cheney. I'm always excited about playing, Warren Harding, Boardman, playing Warren Harding 4 times in my first 2 years. That's become a local rival of heavy magnitude. I'm really excited about those 2 games, just being local hometown games. Kind of a revenge game against Ursuline. That is one where all eyes will be on. But when you're talking about excitement, you're looking at oddballs. But like last year, I was really excited to go down to Camp McKinley, go to the Hall of Fame Stadium and play them. I think that game for us this year, as it sits, is that week 1 opener when the number 4 team from the state of Nevada comes into our place out of Las Vegas and comes here. And that's a pretty exciting week, I think, for our program. Playing them, then our freshmen and JV teams go up to Akron-Hoban and do a doubleheader versus them. That's a pretty intense week and one I'm really looking forward to.
We'll be ready, Coach. We'll be ready.
I'd like to hear that.
Football requires a lot of mental toughness. How do you keep your players mentally focused and locked in as they prepare for games?
Yeah, I think that at any level, that's tough because, football isn't life. You guys live life, and you guys are high school kids, 14 to 18-year-old kids who are, asked to take a bio test on a Monday, and then your girlfriend wants to hang out after practice on Tuesday, and then your mom wants you to clean your room on Wednesday. There's a lot of demanding things that go into, and there is pressure here, and much is given, much is expected. And I think you guys know when you put on the Fitch jersey, there's a lot expected out of you, and it's not just on Friday nights. It's 365 days a year. That if you're not working to be better at your craft, someone else is, and you're not honestly keeping up, the Fitch tradition. So all we do is, we talk. We work on it daily. We work on bettering ourselves, and we're always starting at different points. You talk about the 1% better, but it's that windshield mentality that I talked about at our banquet. It's, if we're going to grow and we got to have a growth mindset, we have to continue to grow. We're always looking out of our windshield. We're never looking in the rear view mirror, whether that be our successes and failures. We have to learn from both of those, but we're always moving forward and always striving to move forward. So I think we're still working on that. This is only our 2nd year as a staff in this program, and that class that'll be our 2nd. This is that freshman class 2 years ago will be our first class to go through for 4 years. I think that mentality, the windshield mentality, is something that's important. Whatever you want to call it, the next play, but consistent growth and always moving forward. I think that's what really creates mental toughness. And I just heard this the other day. You guys will maybe enjoy this. Jay Billis, he's an announcer, and he describes toughness when he thinks about a tough player. It's easy to play with, hard to play against. And when I think of our kids and what I expect out of this program, I think our kids should be easy to play with. When you're on your team, you love playing with them. But when you play against them, it stinks. It's really hard, and that's what I believe. You know, when we can understand that, that's when I know we're really mentally tough.
How do you personally prepare yourself for games? Do you do anything special before games to hype yourself up?
Oh man, you guys are gonna laugh at this.
Oh God.
I got into this routine. I don't like do anything crazy to hype myself up, but this is something weird. I don't know how I got into this mix, but when I was in high school and then I continued in college, all the time, like before a game, right before we went out for warm-ups, I would always take like an extremely hot shower and stretch it. Yes.
I mean, I can see why.
I always used to do that. I used to stretch. Well, now I find myself before every game. Now, again, I'm a teacher. I'm at school. Before every game, I'll come over, and whether we have school or not, I'll end up showering before we either get on the bus or before we go out to the game. I shower in the locker room. So I don't think it necessarily hypes me up. I just think it's one of maybe like the spa atmosphere is like calming and soothing. That's kind of like my ritual, but no, you know, I like listening to music. I like doing all that, but like I try to squeeze in some extra film, like especially if we're on the bus, just watching and going through some situations in my head on what I think they're going to do, what we'll do, what we should be worried about, how we're going to attack them. But yeah, nothing crazy that you guys would think. I'm not looking in the mirror, banging my head against the wall.
Showers do feel good, though. I can't lie. I always feel really good after them. So
as long as it helps you win, I mean,
yeah, really.
That's right. That's all that matters. Huh?
What is the most rewarding aspect of your job?
Oh man, I think that's probably the easiest question you guys have asked the whole time. I think, you know, seeing the growth of the kids in our program from wherever they start to wherever they finish. And sometimes you see it daily, sometimes it takes weeks, but there's not a warmer feeling inside than when you see a genuine smile or a spark go off in someone's head through the process of teaching and learning football and being involved in a team. And honestly, you know, I'd like to think to make an impact, to make someone's life better. That's what I think is easily the most rewarding, of course. And, you know, sometimes those comes through wins. You know, you see people who didn't expect to win a game, or you came back and you won a game, or we've had a crazy game and we persevered, and you see people hugging each other after the game, or their smile, it's genuine. Or when you push someone, and you guys have seen when we have our study tables, when a kid who's been struggling in school brings his phone up and he's genuinely proud to show me that he now has all A's or B's or just one C or brought up his grades. Like, when you know a person's uncomfortable and they're not used to doing that, and then they find success and you can see that how genuine they are about it, that's probably the most rewarding part of the job, I believe. And I haven't, you know, being young and being only my second year here, I think the future reward would be having you guys come back, you know what I mean, and seeing you guys as men and down the road with your families and coming back to games and seeing you guys in the grocery store or going out to dinner with your families and running into you guys. I think next to the day-to-day feelings of that would be probably the best rewarding feeling of being coach of a program.
I think everybody loves getting their grades up, making sure all their work is done, and then just going to football, enjoying the time with the team, lifting, getting stronger, and then just building that bond.
Yeah,
it has to be nice.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, it's not me, you know what I mean? It's you guys, it's a team, and we've talked about that, you know. Every team's going to be different, but you guys make it go, and there is a special bond there, and that's what creating leaders is all about. And true leaders, in their own way, push people out of their comfort zone and push them to be successful. And when you can do that as a unit, as a team, that's where, you know, brothers are made, families made, a strong bond, a brotherhood. All that comes in there. You have to go through tough times. You have to overcome things. You should feel success. You should feel failure together. I mean, that's really what bonds you. But yeah, that's how you create lifelong friendships and all that. It's a special place. That's why, you know, that football locker room is sacred, and especially the one at Austintown Fitch.
Thank you to Coach Parker for joining us today. Best of luck next season.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Of course, Coach.
I shouldn't need it with you guys, right?
Yes.
Yes.